This is Optimal Startup Daily, episode 278. From Passion to Profit? It is Possible, by Helene Massicotte of freetopursue.com. And I'm Dan. I am your narrator and host here at Optimal Startup Daily. This is where I read to you from some of the best blogs on entrepreneurship, and I do that each and every day, including weekends and holidays. And for now, we are going to get right to today's post as we start optimizing your life. From Passion to Profit? It is Possible, by Helene Massicotte of freetopursue.com. About 4 years ago, I started writing articles to see if I would like this blogging thing. I started to write 6 months before posting a single article. Why did I write for months before publishing my first article? Fear. I was worried about a lot of things. Running out of things to talk about, losing interest and quitting, throwing all this effort away. What my friends and family would say. Having a blog run my life. Failing, and trolls. I was so worried that I even blogged anonymously for 3 years and struggled with the idea of revealing my identity, despite a lot of encouragement from my blogger friends at a yearly bloggers conference I've attended for years now. That's the thing about venturing out and turning a hobby into a business, be it on an ad hoc, part-time, or full-time basis. It sends a message. It tells people about another side of who we are, and that can be a big deal because maybe it's a side of us that doesn't mesh well with other impressions friends and family have of us. Or maybe it's a business or side hustle that can hurt our main profession or professional image. Because, as LinkedIn tells us, we can only belong to one industry. It can also turn a hobby we enjoy into an obligation. And as we can all appreciate, anything that becomes an obligation stops being fun. So far, I've turned 2 hobbies into businesses. Personal training, since 2008, and blogging and public speaking since 2014. Personal training, my OG business. For context, I've enjoyed working out from the age of 16 on. I had a weight set in my bedroom and a vision board filled with athletic role models. Then, when I was 19, my dad passed away of a heart attack at the age of 46. That made me even more convinced that physical activity and taking care of myself was a good idea. This journey led me to more weight training, got me into running, led me into gymnastics and bodybuilding, and made me seek out classes of various types. The final push toward training others was when my mother had her first heart attack in her early 50s. That incident told me that I didn't only want to take care of myself, but wanted to start helping others avoid chronic conditions such as heart disease, obesity, diabetes, high blood pressure, and the like. That was my why for enrolling into ISSA and completing their personal training certification. I then started to take on clients for one-on-one training in our home under the name Chrysalis Physiques. Shortly afterwards, I discovered CrossFit, and both my husband and I became Level 1, then Level 2 certified, and opened up an affiliate by transforming our 3-car garage into a 900-square-foot facility and started offering classes 5 days a week. Finally, 3 years ago, I completed a degree in kinesiology and received my CSEP CPT designation. Other than my nearly 13 years in the telecom sector, I have never done anything else of my choosing, career-wise, that stuck for nearly a decade. I'm my own boss, I choose my own hours, and I still love what I do. And given my lack of longevity in most pursuits, often by design, I wanted to really think about why it's worked for me so well and for so long. On a related note, what also prompted this introspection and this article is that a fellow blogger expressed worry about turning a hobby or passion into a business on a message board for the upcoming bloggers conference I mentioned earlier. She worried it might kill the joy of it. As I didn't think a message board length response would cut it, I've included my response to her question here based on what I've learned so far. Why a side business has worked for me for a decade. I love keeping my body strong, but I also love helping others get the information and the training needed to pursue their physical and wellness goals. That means I like training myself, training others, and training with others. I also love the sense of community a training environment can create. So my husband and I have done what feels appropriate to ensure we can do this for our members and ourselves. We do the following. 1. Keep costs low and variable so that we can keep the business small. That way it fits into our lifestyle instead of the other way around. 2. Keep the hours limited to the most sought-after days and times of the week, yet outside the hours we want set aside for other jobs or professional activities. Growth for growth's sake means we've lost our why, in my opinion. 3. Use our own facility to train ourselves whenever the mood strikes. 4. Outsource what we're not good at or don't want to do to ensure we keep our work focused on what we want to be doing. We've outsourced web hosting and design, bookkeeping and accounting, scheduling and membership management. 5. Train our friends. We genuinely enjoy the people we work with and spend time with many of them outside of training hours. 6. Foster a sense of community by hosting get-togethers like barbecues, potlucks, and workout events. Publishing a newsletter every few months. Celebrating personal bests and personal records. Setting up challenges for a little friendly competition. And supporting any group of athletes training for a specific type of competition with specialized classes in that specific sport. Olympic lifting, obstacle courses, or distance running as examples. 7. Don't advertise because word of mouth tends to only bring us people our existing members would want to work out with. We've been so lucky. In nearly a decade, we've only had 2 people join who were not a good fit. 8. Offer the opportunity for anyone to come and train with us to try it out. No obligation, no questions asked. And 9. Keep the business running as long as we still both want to keep it going. I realize that I'm very fortunate to have a husband who is enthusiastic about training and willing to be the backup trainer, as this is a business where some consistency in scheduling is preferable. Lessons learned that will help me stick with Free to Pursue over the long term. I think the insights I gained from our personal training business are helping me get the most out of this blogging experience and its derivatives. All the same rules apply. Keep it on my terms. Have you ever come across an unhappy service provider who's effective? Keep it part-time so that I can pursue other things I'm passionate or curious about. Keep fixed costs at a minimum to increase my flexibility and options. Outsource what I don't want to do. Run it, don't let it run me. Grow it or shrink it as I see fit. And only work and collaborate with other people, organizations, sponsors, etc. that I believe in and that align with my brand. I'm very comfortable with this list. It makes sense to me and it helps me establish and maintain boundaries. After all, if I didn't do these things, I wouldn't be free to pursue, now would I? You just listened to the post titled, From Passion to Profit? It is Possible, by Helene Massicotte of freetopursue.com. And thanks to Helene, she is featured across a bunch of our shows, pretty much all of them actually, but most often on Optimal Living Daily and Optimal Finance Daily, so you can check out those shows for more content from her. And a little bit about Helene, she chose to leave her corporate life in her mid-30s, finding herself constantly preoccupied, unappreciative, and not taking care of herself. So she jumped into blogging to show others how working for just a paycheck isn't worth it, and that we can be free to pursue what we want in life and have the means to get there with less effort than one might think. Hence the name of her site, freetopursue.com. She's read a ton of books and draws from her extensive knowledge there, but also her life experience in a lot of different areas. And she's a pleasure if you get to meet her in person too, which our team did at the personal finance conference FinCon a few times. So come by her site to show her some support. Again, that's freetopursue.com. And thanks so much to Helene for letting us share her content across all of our shows these last few years. But I think that does it for today. Have yourself a very happy Monday if you're listening in real time, and a great start to your week. And I'll see you back here tomorrow for the Tuesday show, and that's where your optimal life awaits.